Today's video is brought to you by Assiniboia Downs Gaming and Event Center. And be sure to tune in to Trust the Prophets Live Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern for Monday Night Lights, hosted by Matthew DeSantis.
Salutations and welcome, friends. I'm your host of this Belmont Stakes Spotlight series on Angel of Empire. My name is Matthew DeSantis. You can find me on Twitter at the handle @FailDemenace. Join me is the man, the myth, the legend here on Trust the Prophets, El Hombre. El Hombre, how are you doing today?
We're living it up, baby. This Belmont Stakes, an impressive field.
Yeah.
Impressive field of 10, I believe, at this point. We are still, just over a week out, but we're talking about Angel of Empire tonight. And
yeah, man,
I'm telling you, I think there's a very thick, dark line about halfway down this field. I can eliminate 5 of them instantly, and the other 5 are still alive, at least for underneath plays. I'm interested to hear what you think on Angel of Empire coming off of the 3rd place in the Derby.
Yep.
Talk to me about Angel of Empire. What are we doing?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, before we get to that, make sure to press that like and subscribe button here on YouTube. Comment as well on what your chances are for Angel of Empire to win the Belmont Stakes this year. I'd love to hear your feedback and all of this as well. Listen, Angel of Empire, you mentioned it coming back from that 3rd place finish in the Kentucky Derby. And you know, there's a lot to like with this horse. I know a lot of people felt that he was moved a little too late, that Flavien Prat maybe did not move him as soon as he should have. And that, you know, that was maybe why he was running a little too late. If that race was another half furlong, does he get there? And does he win? Does he get past Mage? And he was certainly about to get past Two Phils, it looked like. So, you know, it was one of those things. I know some people were very critical of Pratt in the ride in terms of, you know, not getting there in time. Listen, you finished 3rd place in the Kentucky Derby. That's still a pretty damn good effort. And this horse really, again, has done very, very little wrong. The only time this horse really has turned in a bad effort was when they put him on the turf at Kentucky Downs, 2nd time out in an allowance race. Otherwise, this horse has hit the board every single time out, including winning the Risen Star at the fairgrounds and going to a completely different circuit and winning the Grade 1 Arkansas Derby and doing it with class, and then backing it up with that 3rd place victory, or 3rd place effort, I should say, in the Kentucky Derby. There's a lot to like with Angel of Empire. He was at one point a very kind of afterthought in the Brad Cox barn. I mean, that Smarty Jones Stakes, he finished 2nd to Victory Formation, who at the time, there was a lot more buzz about Victory Formation than there was about Angel of Empire, but he's proven to be the best out of this Cox barn and this Cox crop. He's a Pennsylvania bred. I love that. You know, the pedigree is interesting. You got Classic Empire, who is his progeny are very untested, going this 1.25 mile distance, 0 for 5 right now. But again, very small sample size in that regard. I know some people really don't like his pedigree in terms of getting that 1.5 miles, but you know, he looked like he was only getting stronger at the end of that Kentucky Derby. So I think the 12 furlongs is going to suit him fine. He's a horse I really like a lot. And again, if you scratch out that turf effort, I mean, what has this horse done wrong to make you think he's not going to run big at the Belmont?
And even in the Kentucky Derby, finishing 3rd, and I vehemently disagree to those who blame Pratt for that, because I feel like there has to be some measure of Pratt's late move coming, quote unquote, too late. I don't know how strong everybody, you know, or anybody thought Mage or Two Phils might be down the stretch. So obviously, if anything, it was a underestimation of how good those horses were going to finish.
Sure.
Angel of Empire came charging, came up a couple lengths short. I mean, just like you said, in the Arkansas Derby, one of the best races of all horses of the crop.
Yeah.
Proved himself as one of the class of the crop, went off in the Derby as one of the top couple choices, as he should have.
Yeah.
And here we go again. And I've said it time and time again. I think the 3 best horses in this crop are in the Belmont Stakes, which doesn't happen very often.
It doesn't.
You have Forte, the Breeders' Cup champion. You have Angel of Empire, who finished 3rd in the Kentucky Derby and won everything leading up to that. Like you said, Arkansas Derby champ, you know, Risen Star champ, was perfect and it has done nothing wrong. And then you have Tappet Trice, who's got that Achilles heel flaw of getting out of the gate. Outside of that, he's been amazing. I really do think these are the 3 best in the crop. Angel of Empire, right? I really have a hard time differentiating those three as far as like
Yeah.
who I love to pick to win.
I
That,
think,
go ahead.
yeah, it's interesting. I think you could make an argument that Angel of Empire maybe is in the best position to win, and I'll kind of maybe make this argument in a couple of different ways. One, and it's at the cost maybe of the other two. One, you could say you mentioned that Achilles heel of Tapatrice. You could say, listen, that's as an Achilles heels, he's going to be a little further back. He's also a horse that likes to run in the clear. Louis Saya is really going to take a wide trip at the Belmont around both turns to keep this horse out of the clear, travel a lot more distance. Angel of Empire is a useful horse. I mean, I think he's a horse that doesn't have to sit very far back. He can sit kind of as a deep stalker or kind of an upper mid pack horse. Like in a 10 horse field, he's going to be sitting like fourth or fifth, I think, at worst in this race. So he's going to be sitting not all that far off the pace, I don't think. And he's still going to be able to make the move. And then the question with Forte is, right, he's got the 10-week layoff now because he didn't run in the Kentucky Derby because of that veterinary scratch. So you go, is there a little bit of rust there? That's a long time to lay off between his last race and now going that 12 furlongs at the Belmont. Maybe his pedigree doesn't really fit in terms of a violence horse up top. So, I think Angel of Empire is a horse that doesn't have those sorts of gait issues, is doing the very standard Derby, skip the Preakness, run the Belmont route that we've seen be successful. There's a lot to like with this horse. And I think you may end up getting the best price potentially between those three on Angel of Empire. Yep. Because to some extent, I still feel like there's a lot of buzz around Tapatrice and Forte because they're Todd Pletcher horses in New York. And those horses always get bet down.
And they're freaking great horses. I mean, they're just monsters. I mean, aside from what you just said, you're right. I mean, the Pletcher trained horses in New York, obviously. And you're right. I think Angel of Empire probably will be the bigger price of the three, but I don't think by much. I think
no.
I'm trying to decide. I'm bouncing between all three of those. I guarantee will fall between 5-2 and 9-2.
Yeah.
And man, if you can really commit in your mind to one of those three, I say go for it. I can't, to be quite honest with you. But I mean, what are you going to do? Box the three of them? It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to do that.
Right.
Because there's other horses, Hit Show and National Treasure and Archangelo that could get involved like in a try. But I think if you can commit to one of those three, which I'm really struggling to do, because I mean, Forte was the best, unquestionably leading up to the Derby. He was going to be the favorite, scratched out. Angel of Empire what was he, second choice in the Derby post time? And then he did what he was supposed to do, finished third. He didn't win, but he was very respectable.
Yeah.
Then Tapatrice stumbled out of the gate and still managed to beat 15 of the 18 horses.
Right.
Whatever it was, 12 of the whatever.
Yeah.
But Tapatrice, I mean, terrible starts. That's his Achilles heel. If he stumbles out of the gate in the Belmont, it's going to be the same. He won't be there. But I feel like if he just gets an average start, he's going to be there. This is those three to me, very interesting. And I think because all three of them are here, it's a great betting race. And especially if you like an outsider like National Treasure or Hit Show or Archangelo, which are the other three, I think in contention, I think you can scrap the other two or three on the outside. Yeah. But I do think there's a case to be made for Archangelo, Hit Show, and
a National Treasure. Yeah.
But,
and I think you're right that you'll get if you like anybody outside of these big three, you're going to get an honest and fair price on those.
Probably
on those
10
horses.
to 1.
Absolutely. And Angel Empire is a horse I find myself rooting for. He's a Pennsylvania bred. I grew up in Pennsylvania, and so I always, root for my Smarty Jones connection. I root for those Pennsylvania breds all the time to do well. So that's something I'm excited about. And he also, he's a horse that really did come from rather humble beginnings. He goes and breaks his maiden at Horseshoe, Indianapolis, and then they put him on the turf. And then they go back to Horseshoe, and it's not until the Smarty Jones, and he's a huge price in that Smarty Jones. He was 18 to 1 in that race, and then goes off and finishes second. And what
lays down that 92 Equibase speed figure, which kind of justified his, his presence in the prep season.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think, people, what I'll say is, and I got to give a big shout out to Joe Kristufik, who does a lot of great work down at the fairgrounds, at Twin Spires, at Churchill. is Joe was all over this horse in the Risen Star. He absolutely loved Angel Empire in this race, and he was all over the gallop out in the Smarty Jones. He goes, that horse clearly needed and wanted more ground and wanted to keep running and wanted to keep going and only was getting stronger. And it certainly looked that way. And like you said, that Arkansas Derby, that was as good of a prep performance that we saw. I think maybe the entire prep season.
I think it was the best, honestly.
And
the best. That one stands out to me.
Yeah. I mean,
it's the Florida Derby. Forte closed hard and beat Mage, but it wasn't that dominant. Angel of Empire, the way he spread that.
Yeah, I mean, he opened up by like five lengths just easily. I mean, it was just no contest. So
he showed it to me there. I would have a hard time. Here's what I'll finish with this thought.
Yeah.
I wouldn't tell anybody to not bet Angel of Empire. I will tell.
Yeah.
You can't leave him out, even if exacta, even if you hate him.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I mean, he's going to be on all my tickets in some capacity. I'm going to be very interested to see how these big three end up playing out come post time. He's a very legitimate win contender, I think, for me. I like everything this horse has done. He has done absolutely nothing wrong. I know I mentioned, a horse like Hit Show hasn't done anything wrong. The difference is Angel of Empire has just done it at a slightly higher level and a little bit better in the races that they've been in together. So, proven, it's just, that's why you're getting, of course, a much higher price on Hit Show than you are Angel of Empire. But I think, AOE just makes a ton of sense in this spot. I like him quite a bit. I might end up liking him the most out of the big three.
Can't we throw that same knock at Forte at this point, by the way? Because, I mean, Forte, because he didn't run on the Derby, we don't know what to make of him in the big fields. But we also, Angel of Empire has obviously, along with Tabit Trice, has obviously gone against a tougher field than Forte has ever gone against. I mean,
true. Yeah, no, it's a good point.
And let me shoehorn Loggins in here, by the way, for with the Trust the Profits fans out there. Loggins retired today. My
Very
condolences go out to Colin Sheehan.
Yeah.
But I mean, Forte has not seen the likes of what Angel of Empire and Tabit Trice have in the Derby, along with the other horses who have run the Derby.
Yeah.
So we just don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised if Forte wins going away, and I wouldn't be surprised if he finishes third or fourth either.
Yeah.
It's a great field, man. This is a great Belmont, honestly.
It is. It's a very, very exciting Belmont. I think there's a lot of intrigue to it. Definitely like Angel of Empire. Ellenberg and I both are going to be using him. Very strong win threat, I think. And at the right price, I'm absolutely going to be using him as a win candidate as well. So listen, make sure to press that subscribe button here on YouTube. Make sure to like this video, comment below with what chances you give Angel of Empire in this year's Belmont Stakes. Until next time, friends, that's El Hombre. My name is Matthew DeSantis. Wishing you a great and profitable day at the races and reminding you that it's now post time.